15th, 2024. And welcome back to Chapter 4 of my Arctic grown olive tree. When we finished Chapter 2, we had given her quite a cutback after she grew out really long branches there. So as you can see here, we've already got some back budding happening. So she's growing again. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that cue and get in there and get some root pruning done. Okay, just to document a few things, got it out of the pot there, and with my root ball, here's the base of it. I put a drainage layer of chicken grit, and the roots did not really like growing in that chicken grit. I grew a little bit in there, but not nearly as well as I grew in the bonsai soil up here. Just good to know. All right, I'm gonna get this thing raked out. Looks like it did still do a little bit of circling, unfortunately. All right, here we go. And there you go, folks. Man, I tell you what, these training pots here with all those holes in the bottom down there, these things sure are nice for growing nice fibrous root systems. Did an amazing job, I think. I definitely got a lot to work with. All right, I'm gonna get some root pruning done on this thing. Get this bottom back under control, make sure it's flat one more time. And then I think we might be trying to go into a different bonsai pot, just for fun here. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this. It's a plastic pot, of course, but it's a pretty nice plastic pot. It's actually supposed to be impact resistant, pretty steady, pretty sturdy anyways. Thought it might look good with the olive tree. All right, back when I got a second here. And there she is, folks. All potted up in her new plastic bonsai training pot. I think it looks pretty sharp. Kind of like the colors together. And she's ready to go for the 2024 growing season. All right, folks. Back when we got more to show you. It is mid-January 2025. And as you can see, my olive has woken up and she's doing quite well. I wanted to do all this right at winter solstice, but I kind of ran out of time with the holidays and other stuff going on in the real world, so I'm getting to it now. She has already definitely started leafing out, so I'm a little late on a repot, but I think with the conditions I have, she'll be just fine. Super excited to see down here we have some growth coming out the base. That one right there, plus this one right here. It looks like another bud's getting ready to pop out right there, so that makes me pretty happy knowing that I have some options with my tree now, because as I've been learning how to take care of and grow an olive, get those branches off the black wall, has been learning how to take care of and grow an olive. Learned some of the do's and do nots, but some of the do nots were lessons learned a little bit too late. I kind of have some good ideas of how I want the branch structure to grow now, but knowing how to shape some of the branches and whatnot, I am digging all that, and I do know how to propagate pretty well with this thing now, so I'm gonna go ahead and give her a pretty harsh cut back, because I do know that she also likes to be cut back. Whenever I cut her back, she just explodes with new branches. So, and I'm gonna repot her again as well. I'm gonna get her out of this pot here and get her into something I'm gonna let grow, so she get a little bit healthier of a root base down there. I really want that thing to thicken up. All right, I'm gonna start cutting her back. Basically coming back to all of these branches in here. Whoa, look at it. And coming out to the first or second node, and gonna cut them all off at the second or first or second node. Maybe third node, but probably not much more than that. All right, hold on for a minute. All right, folks. I got a lot of her trimmed back, and I'm up here in the canopy. Do have a bit of an issue, you know. I want this to be continuing as my leader. I cut the growing tip off a couple years ago, and then it shot out hard this way and hard that way. And to get the balance of the tree, I wanted this side to be the leading side still. But that 90-degree cut right there, where she angles out, I mean, that's as ugly as a baboon's butthole in my opinion. So I don't know. Something about it just doesn't ring true for me. And then all of a sudden this branch now becomes my leader, and it angles back the same direction as the rest of the tree. And then I got it angling back this direction again. So I'm definitely gonna cut some of this thing off. I just didn't want to do it too soon. And all right. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and take off this top here. These two here look pretty darn vertical, so I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can keep her growing vertical with those two. And now this is kinked off to this right hand side here, so I'm just going to cut it back to just 2. Left and right. There we go. Now this branch here, do I keep it? This one going right back at you is kind of annoying me. I cut the rest of it down pretty harsh back here. The one going straight up, I think, needs to disappear. All right. How else can I take some vigor out of that and get some vigor back into here? This one growing up is just going to be competition, and I like the idea of this canopy starting to droop right here, so we'll cut that back to there. We'll come in with the nibbler. Oh, man. I am not as good as I like to think I am with that tool. All right. She'll do what she does. If she dies, she dies. Make up her mind for me. All right, I think I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm gonna trim these base branches down a little bit. Not take them off just yet. See if I can really thicken up that base. Now, I want to take care of those roots. I've just been working on untangling these roots and getting the last of the substrate out. You can see I still didn't get a whole lot of growth coming back here. Everything did swell up quite a bit, but no new real roots shooting out there, so a little disappointed in that. But we do have plenty of them growing out down here, and it took advantage of the pot being wider over there as it grew the roots that direction. On this side, they are layered like crazy. If I want to get that radial, this one here, it's relatively radial, but it is coming up a little bit higher than anything and everything else. So I think I'm going to get rid of that one. There we go. Now we come over here, and this root's not too bad. Especially if I can keep it growing out radial like that, which I'm pretty sure I can. I can kind of adjust it, it's pretty flexible. This root here, not flexible. Growing pretty much down, but I can take advantage some of it. Oh, actually, look at that. I can bring that whole thing up. And have it growing more like that than growing straight down. It's pretty nice and radial. This one up here though, cranked at a 90. We can get rid of you. And the horse you rode in on. And again, back to here where we got a relatively bald spot. And then this root here, that's not really at a 90, you know. Maybe I can crank it over once I trim off some of this extra growth down here. All right, gonna trim her back up, and we are gonna get her into a different pot. I really did like her in that pot we had, but I'm gonna try her in this pot instead. This is what they call those tie pots. Gives her a lot more room to really grow out in all 360 directions, and plenty of aeration for the roots so they don't start wrapping, and give her a chance to get really vigorous yet again. All right, I'm gonna get her potted back up. All right, there we have them. Trim back up. Pretty daggum flat on the bottom. Getting right back down to the tree itself here. And yeah, we're gonna put her in this tie pot here, and I'm going to give her an angle kind of like that. And make sure these roots are raked out and in the directions I want them to grow. I'll have her powder back up. All right, one more minute. And there we go. All potted back up in the tie pot. I can see some things happening that I'm happy with. Get her back in the grow tent. Back when I got more to show you. It is early February 2025. And as you can see here, my olive is budding out all over the place. So I want to use this opportunity to kind of come in and see if I can control where I put some of the, or where she put some of her vigor. For example, if I'm looking at buds like this one right here, I'm going to be taking that top bud off because I really don't want her growing up. I want her growing out, and maybe even down. So if I get this one to start growing out and downwards, and then prune her off so she actually bifurcates out this way again. But I'm looking to kind of get some control of that branch so it grows down, get some movement in it. And do that on a couple different places throughout the tree. I'm also gonna defoliate some of the places where I've already got buds breaking out so that opens up, it gets a little more daylight in there, and hopefully I get some tighter internodes growing. All right, back in just a minute. All right, got to trim back in quite a few different places here. See up here on the top, where all those little buds are coming out. I took off the mother leaves for most of them, for most of the places on top up here, and out here on the ends of my branches too. I want to focus on the sub branching. However, I'm still not very happy with this little branch right here. I don't like how long and straight that thing sticks out there, and I'm never going to start liking it later, so probably ought to just cut her back now. I do like where these leaves are kind of placed, if they'll back bud to those, or even back bud to these down here. Let's do that. There we go. A lot shorter, but if she grows out back that direction, I'll be happy. Up a little bit from here, straight out from here, I'll be happy. If the ones behind her do the same thing, I'll be happy as well. All right, folks, back when I got more to show you. It is March 2025. We are back with my olive. Yeah, she's doing pretty well. She's definitely putting out a lot of new growth. You can really see her already starting to shoot out in quite a few different places on the tree here. I want to control some of that vigor again, so I do want to come back and cut into her again. I know I'm really chopping on her a lot this year, but I think she can take it, and I think it kind of needs to happen because she's kind of getting ahead of herself. Way too much sub branching up here before any of the stuff down here is developed like I want it to be. So I think the way I'm looking at her now, let's see if I can get through the angle that I'm looking at. Right in here, you can see where the trunk kind of subdivides. I'm kind of looking at that as like one canopy sticking out here, then the other canopy growing from back there, then possibly a third canopy sitting up on top, coming towards you. That's kind of where I see her going. Not 100%, but regardless, this branch is way too long, She's shading out all the stuff down below her, and that stuff's not growing nearly as vigorously as I would like it to be because I need the stuff on the bottom here to be thicker if they're lower branches. So I do need to cut her back, and I'm thinking right about here would be a good spot for that. Can you see? Right about here would be a good spot for that. There's a little shoot going upwards, and that would take off quite a bit of what's going on out here. I kind of think it needs to happen. A lot of sub-branching going on out there, but yeah, let's do her. Oh yeah, that lightens her up a lot. This one growing back in, I do not want. So we will go ahead and just get rid of you right now. And coming back in, I don't want some of that inner growth back there. Not growing back into the tree anyways. There we go. Give her a chance to grow outwards. This shoot's doing pretty well right here. I want to get some subdivision though. Yeah. Bring it back to there. And this branch out here, you know, I need it to grow that way to give some balance to my tree. Most of the shoots are growing up though. I'm going to cut you back to here just to get rid of a growing tip. And I like that you're growing that direction, so that's perfect. All right, not looking too bad. I might go in there and nitpick on a few more things, but I think she's pretty much set up for the 2025 growing season. Realized when I was trying to put this video together that I didn't have a whole lot of video updates. This year I tried something a little bit different. I had her in a grow tent outside, one of those little portable greenhouses. She didn't really do a whole lot in there. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Just didn't have enough time to transition the leaves and really start growing again, I guess. My summer's just too short. Just too short to keep this thing outside. But in the winter, as soon as it started getting cold, I brought her into the garage where she stayed at about 45 to 55 degrees. And she stayed like that for several months. I want to say from September until, well, whenever I did the repot on this thing. So yeah, I think she might have liked that rest, and we'll see how she responds this year. All right, folks, like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to follow along. Any comments, questions, concerns, violent criticisms, please leave them in the comment section below. And as always, back when I got more to show you.